What is up, everyone? My name is Starkers101, and today we are back with another WSDL game. This is actually week 10. However, this is the last week, even though there are 11 weeks. Because in week 11, I played the only other guy, well, the guy that went undefeated for the season. He was 10-0. I was the only other person to have like a very good record. Well, he was the only person to go undefeated, and I was just like, you know what, let's do a mock battle. And at first he was very iffy about it because we were both definitely gonna, well, participate in playoffs, and it was also very likely that we would meet in finals. But he was having none of that, and then finally when he came around to doing that, he was like, yeah, sure, let's do a mock battle. I had to rebuild, but then I didn't have enough time to do that. I was just like, you know what, let's just not do it in general. We both already clinched playoffs. We were both guaranteed. He was guaranteed the number 1 seed. I was guaranteed the number 2 seed, which implied that we would both have a first week bye. So we would already be in semifinals. So here we go. This is versus Thriller, though, and Thriller decided to bring balls to the wall offense. Tapu Koko, Star Raptor, the Blacephalon, Mega Beedrill, and then Lycanrocks Dusk. So these are just all 5 straight up offensive mons, which basically also means I doesn't have any switch-ins to my offensive threats. I think this is the first week where I didn't bring Zard, and I think as soon as I should have gotten a 1. I didn't bring Zard because also this guy, and there were a lot of offensive threats on his team anyway, so there was very little room for me to set up. And the Lycanrocks just kind of threw me off because as soon as I set up, I already take damage, and then the Lycanrocks is just gonna revenge kill me. I was just not chancing that. And then last but not least, there is the Silvally. But yeah, so Gramble, once again, a Rocky Helmet set. Snorlax is there to just deal with the Blacephalon and also to deal with Tapu Koko, so it's more of a Spadef set, but it's mixed defensive because you could also bring a physically offensive Tapu Koko. But then Gliscor plus Nidoking should probably have that too. So next up we have, I think it's a Life Orb Weavile. Maybe it's CB, but I think it's a Life Orb Weavile because I kind of want the Ice Shard to be accessible at all time. So CB didn't really make a whole lot of sense. And then last but not least we have probably Gracian Z Rotom Cut. So he goes into Tapu Koko. I'm into Nidoking. Nidoking is Choice Scarf, so I'm just like, you know what? If you just want to save U-turn out or whatever, I'm just gonna hit you with the Sludge Wave. I think I just put enough investment to outspeed Koko in general, so I'm probably modest. But I can't tell that from my from my notebook. So I go for Sludge Wave, and that Silvally does not want to take that. I'm just like, you know what? You're definitely well, he was Silvally Water, so he was definitely not Choice Scarf, so that was good. I go into Gramble knowing that he just won't go for a Poison Jab on the Nidoking, and I'm just, you know what, let me just get off and Intimidate and then switch into Gliscor, because he's also not going to knock off the Gramble, he's probably going to P-Jab that, and then, so I was trying to play around this thing like that, but he actually sets up a Swords Dance, so he gets very greedy, like turn freaking 3. But Gliscor goes for Niku, and I can't take that. But he goes for another SD. And at this point, you know what? I'm just gonna go into Gramble, basically sacking it off. But he goes for a knockoff, and I do have the Rocky Helmet, which also means that he doesn't knock off my Rocky Helmet, so it's still there. So it can still work against either this guy, but probably best against the Star Raptor. Maybe even a Wild Charge Koko as well, but we don't know that yet, what kind of set it is. I'm assuming it's special at this point because he already brought 3 physical attackers in Lycanrocks Dusk, Mega Beedrill, and Star Raptor. Yeah, but at this point already, Snorlax is also looking pretty good, even though I'm Crunch Body Slam this time around, or Crunch Facade, I don't know. And then Rest Hog, yeah, again. But yeah, so let's just continue. But he's gonna go into this guy, and he's gonna SD again. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why he's getting so greedy on me, but this is not how that works. But Weavile is actually CB. I think Weavile is CB. And it's in range of the Ice Shard right now already, but also Nidoking is Choice Scarf, so I could also just go into that and just Ice Beam because that hits everything. I don't believe it's in range of Sludge Wave, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, probably in range of Sludge Wave too, by the way. But now he goes into Hawkeye. It turns out to be Intimidate instead of a Reckless variant, but I don't think a Reckless variant would have killed me either. I'm just going to go for Toxic because I figured this is probably a bulky variant then, because he showed Intimidate instead of Reckless, but that was definitely not the case because this Staraptor later turns out to be Choice Scarf. But the Rocky Helmet, that wasn't knocked off by the Beedrill, so I love that mechanic in this scenario, so I'm just going to go into Weavile. I got a crit. He's very upset about a crit, and I'm just like, dude, that really doesn't matter because I have the hardest check to this thing in the game. I have a Snorlax, you're not. I have a thick, fat Snorlax, you're not touching me whatsoever. Because that Flamethrower is choice specs and it is 20%, so that is just absolutely pathetic damage. So I'm just going to go for the Crunch in case he stayed in, but now I actually lower his defense as well. But I'm not going to chance it in case he wanted to go for like a Z Wild Charge right there or whatever. I was just like, you know what, let me just hop into Nidoking. There's no one move that he can click that will OHKO me, and I am Choice Scarf. But he doesn't know that at this point, so he's just going to stay in and I Sludge Wave, and I just kill the thing. Now, he's going to go hop into Hawkeye, but because he's Intimidated over Reckless, he can't actually kill me, so I calced it. It's just like, okay, either I kill this thing and I outspeed, because at this point I still didn't know he was Choice Scarf, or he's Choice Scarf and he can't kill me. So that was lovely. Nidoking putting in the finest of work, also living things left and right, and he was like, you know what, maybe this is like his third Choice Scarfer, I don't know. Or what, maybe this is a second Choice Scarfer, because at this point only this thing was Scarf and it didn't calc the damage on Snorlax. I was just like, Snorlax being Snorlax is just going to be fat and just sit there. But he goes for another Flamethrower right there. And at this point, I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to crunch this guy, get this game over with. And that is going to be another 5-0 in my favor. So, that being said, this is week 10. Only week 8 was our loss. So we're 9-1 right now. But I forfeit the last game because I was very sure that I would play this game. I would play that guy in playoffs, and I didn't want to reveal sets, nor did I have time to do the mock kind of battle. So that was very unfortunate that we had to take the last week forfeit because we did so well throughout the entire season. But let's see how we will do in playoffs, and you will see that in the next WSDL video. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you guys later. What is up, everyone? My name is Tarkus101, and today we are back with round 1 of the playoffs. And if you remember Austin, this guy, he was the only person in regular season to beat me. So when I saw I had to prepare for the Mega Kangaskhan team, which did allow Seismic Toss, I kind of shat myself. Not gonna lie. This time around, I did know, and I also knew that he wasn't gonna bring the Trick Room anymore, and this time around he brought the Kyurem Black over the Entei, and I think that was the only team change he made. Mewla's time didn't even touch the field, and then I think the majority of his team is kind of similar. I think the Kang set may have changed. I don't know, a lot of things may have changed, but he was just like, you know what, I won with this team last time, I'm just going to bank on it doing that again. I brought a different team this time around. Keldeo is no longer Choice Scarf because I made Nidoking my Scarfer. It's actually Rocks, 3 attacks, and it's Choice Scarf Superpower because at this point I just want as much things on my team to be faster than Mega Kangaskhan and be able to dish out as much damage as I possibly can. Snorlax this time around, I don't think it's Fire Point. This time it's definitely a Curse-Lax set. Because I learned from my mistakes, and I figure, you know what, I already have a Zard that quad resists the Sacred Fire, and then I have a Keldeo that just takes it on reasonably well. I have some HP investment. This time I'm a Leftovers Keldeo instead of a Choice Scarf variant, and I'm still Choice Bandit Weavile because I think that still puts in a massive shift against this team, but I actually didn't look at the previous team I built. I just started from scratch all over again. And then I have the Rotom Cut because I really want something to get rid of Stealth Rocks, and this does just really well versus the Donphan, which is his, I think it was the only rocker on the team. No, it was his most likely rocker on the team. He was also obviously has Mesprit and Mew, but I figured Donphan would be brought anyway because of the Zard. and then that would likely be his rocker. So I'm Gracium Z with the Leaf Storm Volt Switch, and then Defog. I think it was HP Flying too, because he had Virizion, and I was very afraid of Virizion. I was actually mostly afraid of Virizion for some reason, but he just didn't bring that. He didn't feel like that was necessary against my team. So we lost to Awesomeness Guy in our week 8, and now we play him in semifinals actually. So let's see how we did this time around. So I'm gonna leave with Rotom Cut because I figured Rotom Cut can just Volt Switch out on everything, or as soon as he wants to lead with a Donphan, then I just already have a good lead matchup, and I'm just gonna Gracium Z like turn freaking 1. And obviously he doesn't want that to happen, so he's gonna switch, and I'm gonna do massive damage to whatever comes in. So that was my game plan. That was my turn 1 plan. The only Mon I wouldn't stay in on, Kyurem Black. Guess what he leads with? Kyurem Black. So that's very unfortunate, but that's exactly what happens. So I'm just going to hop into my Snorlax, which is my dedicated switch in to Kyurem Black, because I'm a mixed defensive Snorlax. But he actually turns out to be a sub-toxic set, which I thought was a bit silly. But that is exactly what happened. So he's sub-toxic, and it's probably Roost, so he's probably also mono-attacking. So here he reveals his third move, which is Ice Beam. He could not have Roost. He could have coverage for Keldeo, lure me into a false sense of security, and then just Fusion Bolt my ass. Those are things that are possible, but not likely. So I'm just gonna Body Slam again, because Body Slam on the substitute is a roll. We're gonna see that later on. Sometimes it lives, sometimes it breaks in one go. But this time around, I'm just gonna Body Slam. Yet again, because I don't want him to be behind a sub, and I can just stall that thing out because I'm a Rest Talk variant once again. Now he just hops into Snorlax, hops into his Donphan, and he gets parried. I'm running Body Slam for exactly that reason, so at this point I don't even feel sorry. But he gets parried on the next turn, so I got a free switch into Rotom, but the only moves that he's got is the knockoff Earthquake. Probably Spin and then Rocks, so he could barely touch me anyway. Last time around he did have Ice Shard, but that still wouldn't do anything because I'm a Rotom. And this time, so I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna nuke something. This was my turn 1 plan, but now it turned out to be my turn 6 plan. I'm just gonna nuke something, and I'm just gonna go for the Bloom Doom. And this is where Kyurem Black reveals his last move, and that is going to be Roost. Or he's going to sub first and then he's going to Roost. No, he's going to Roost first, so I just instantly hop into my Keldeo, because I figured, you know what, this thing literally can't touch me, and I do have Taunt, so even if he subbed there, I could just Taunt and then click Secret Sword over and over again. However, I didn't make a building mistake. I put in Sacred Sword instead of Secret Sword. So that is very unfortunate. But here, I figure, you know what, he is definitely not staying in with the Kyurem. That thing really can't touch me. If he wants to trade his Kyurem for getting a Toxic on my Keldeo, I'm perfectly okay with that. But he's not going to do that. He's not insane. He got to semifinals for a reason. He beat me the first time for a reason. So this guy is a very capable player, so he's not going to stay in. Well, he's not just going to throw away his Kyurem B. So I can freely Scald here on whatever. And had he even Toxic me, then I could just Sacred Sword after. I say Sacred instead of Secret, because that's what I accidentally have. But he goes into his Mesprit, which turns out once again to be a bulky set. This time he doesn't have leftovers though, so I'm very happy with that. But he goes for a T-Wave. I'm just going to go hop into Snorlax and be like, you know what, I want my Snorlax to be healthy. So I'm just going to rest here. And now I'm just going to hop back into Keldeo, because I know he is probably anticipating a Rotom Cut switch, so maybe he's going to knock, maybe he's going to double on that. So as soon as he would anticipate on the Rotom, then he could just then he could just double on the Kyurem Black. So I would cover both Donphan staying in, and I would cover the Kyurem Black switch. So that's why I just went into Keldeo, because that would, well, basically decimate both. Had he hearted into Mesprit right there, then I would have been in a bit more of a problem, but I didn't figure that would happen. So now I can just freely fire off another Scald, and this Mesprit is slowly getting chipped. You can only get in one more time, and then, well, this is the last time I can actually switch in on my Keldeo, so that's really nice. I'm just gonna go into Rotom. He actually shows rocks on Mesprit this time around, so it's actually a very bulky variant. Here I'm just gonna go for the Volt Switch, because I was kind of predicting a switch into the Kyurem Black right there. And here I figure, you know what, you're definitely not going to T-Wave or Rotom Cut, or Rotom Mow, doesn't matter, it's the same thing. So I'm just going to hop into my Weavile, gain some offensive momentum, and just Choice Band knock off something. But instead of doing that, I just decided, you know what, let me just Ice Cold Crash. I risked the miss there, and had he stayed in and parried me, I would have been pretty upset. But he goes in Kang. This time around, you know what, I'm not playing games. Nidoking can live any one hit. Gramble is fucking useless anyway, so he's going to go for the low kick. Definitely his play to make. But I'm just going to go for the Choice Scarf Superpower, as now he's going to go for the Seismic Toss again, and leave me, I think it was 11%. Yeah, there we go. Because that just does huge damage. 31 every time. Because usually with the little kid, this should do like, what, 8? Yeah, somewhere between 7 and 8. But now it's just like, oh, he probably has got priority. I still can bring Nidoking in on the switch, so let me just not do this. I'm not going to chance it. I'm just going to hop into Rotom. Does he go for Seismic Toss? Then I just sack it. It is what it is. But he's just going to hop into Donphan, which makes me look like a god. But I didn't predict that by any means, so now I can just get off a free defog. He's going to get parried. No, actually, he's going to knock me off this turn. And now this turn, I can just Leaf Storm him, bring him down to his Sturdy. I don't know why he didn't hop into his Kyurem Black, because at this point I feel like he's kind of throwing. The Mesprit's gone, yeah, sure. But here I feel like he should have just not stayed in with the Donphan, either just hopped into his Mew, which I don't know what it is yet, but I'm assuming it's kind of bulky. And then hop into his Kyurem, or just hop into his Kyurem Black, which is just his dedicated counter to the Rotom. But he doesn't do that. He stays in once again. So I'm just going to Leaf Storm and I'm going to kill it. So that is just lovely. But yeah, he got parried 3 times in a row and he's getting really upset. So now I hop into the Rotom and I feel like just, you know what, Rotom does his job. I'm just going to sack this thing. It can't even take, it can't even switch into Azu anymore. It can't do anything. Let me just sack this thing. Turns out this Kang doesn't have any speed, which should have rung a bell. But from the previous damage that I did with Nidoking to this thing, actually means that he doesn't have any special investment. No, like no HP investment. So I was very confused at this point. Maybe he had a lot of special attack. I don't know. Maybe he had weird ass coverage. I really don't know. But now I have to sack my King, because I know a Seismic Toss is coming out, and I don't want anything else to take the Seismic Toss. So what I do now is I hop in a Keldeo, and I'm just like, you know what, this thing, Scald did a minimum of 36 to a non-invested King. So, you know, I'm just going to Scald, this thing is going to die, but then he turned out to be no HP, but he's max attack, and he's max special defense. So Scald is pitiful damage. I got massive damage on my Keldeo, which is not a good thing. It's just not a good thing. I'm just gonna Scald here, yeah, again. Yeah, that's how that's going to fly. Yeah, here I comment you, and that's a lot of special defense. And here it is the play. I do have Taunt on this Keldeo, and last time I nearly got swept by a Belly Dramazu. Was like, maybe this time he brought Banded because he didn't bring the Trick Room shenanigans, even though he had the Mesprit and he still has a Mew. He could still have Trick Room shenanigans, but I'm not assuming that he would think I would fall for that second time, which I probably wouldn't. So, you know what? This time around, I'm just going to HP Electric. Let me just get this over with. Maybe I'm HP Grass or HP Poison this time around, but I have an HP that is super effective, and that's what I clicked. And unfortunately, Isabella Drum set. So had I taunted there, that would have been phenomenal. I thought about it. It was just like, it's just not worth it. I would have looked like a god though. But so that's very unfortunate. That's not gonna happen. But now I go into Zard, which at this point is legitimately the only thing that I can use, and yeah. So I hop in a Zard. Is the only thing that can take a hit. Is the only thing that can take the Aqua Jet from full. So I go for the T-Punch, and that's going to take out the Azu, so that's great. Now he's going to hop into his Mew, and I'm just like, you know what? At this point, Weavile should definitely have this game. I'm looking in a very good position right now. Kyurem Black's only attacking move is the Ice Beam, so Weavile should probably win that one-on-one. I could just CB knockoff until it dies. And now I'm just going to sack the Zard. I'm just going to go for the Flare Blitz. Zard has done its job. It took an Azu hit, and then, it just did massive damage to Mew, but he shows Nasty Plot, and here all my alarm bells just went off. It's just like, oh my god, this guy's got the Vacuum Wave. Rotom can't take a hit. Snorlax can't take a hit. But all of this could have been prevented had I made a different play. So we're just going to go back a couple of turns, right? Right here. So Azu sets up the Belly Drum right here. And what I do is I sack my Keldeo. But what does Rotom Cut do in this scenario? Absolutely nothing. What can Keldeo do in this scenario? It outspeeds the Mew, and it can, well in this case then Sacred Sword, but it can just taunt and wear down the Kyurem B. So Keldeo is actually still useful in this matchup. But I'm a fucking moron. I'm looking at this +6 Azumarill, and I don't sack my Rotom Cut, I just sack my Keldeo. So we sack the Keldeo, and we just go back to our scenario that we have at hand right here. So Zard goes down, he sets up a Nasty Plot. Keldeo was out of range of a +2 Vacuum Wave, which is probably what he has. Keldeo also outspeeds the Mew, and Mew is definitely in range because this showed that he had no HP investment whatsoever, and he's probably max speed, max special attack, so he could speed tie with his Zard. That I won this speed tie doesn't matter because he Nasty Plot anyway. Had he Nasty Plot first and I Flare Blitz after, well, still same result. But now, Keldeo actually outspeeds this fucking thing. So, and this is definitely in range of Scald. So, I could have just prevented this. I could have just gone into Keldeo. I could have just scalded the Mew and then just taunted the Kyurem Black and then just Sacred Sworded down until it died. Or eventually Keldeo may have lost this one-on-one battle then versus Kyurem, but then I just could have hopped into my Choice Bandit Weavile, and then Knockoff would have probably done the job had I taunted and Sacred Sworded correctly. Which, well, at this point I would have probably, unless I had a massive misclick. But I'm not assuming that. But now, I'm actually in a very, very poor position because Snorlax is asleep. Snorlax is the only Mon in my field right now that can take one hit. And can take one hit. That's it. So I need, and this is not in Ice Shard range yet. The Ice Shard does about 30-ish%, I think. Well, it was a roll, it was heavily not in my favor. So what I need to do right now is hop into Snorlax, go for a Sleep Talk, roll either Fire Punch or Body Slam, get Chip on the Mew, hope he pray to baby fucking G's that he doesn't have recovery, hop into my Rotom Cut, sack that, then go into Weavile, and then go for the Ice Shard and kill it, and then hope that the combination of Weavile and Snorlax, the Snorlax that is at the specific percentage at the time, can beat the Kyurem Black one-on-one. That is the game plan right now. We're going to see how that works out. So, I hop into Lax. I need to go for the Sleep Talk. So, it is as 50%. And I roll the Fire Punch, which is 20. So, he gets leftovers back right now, and he's gonna get one more round of leftovers back once I sack the Rotom Cut. So I do like a solid 6% extra, which is exactly what I need. Is exactly enough what I need. So now you're gonna hop in and Rotom. I'm gonna sack this thing. He crits me, so that would have been just gone, Snorlax, had he crit me there. It was also way too ballsy to just hop in a Weavile. It wasn't even worth it. So now I can get safe switch into Weavile, and now I can just click Choice Banded Ice Shard. However, this was a roll that was more in my favor. I think it did a minimum of 30.9 as a matter of fact. we're just gonna look up the calc real quick. So Weavile, OU all out attacker. This is a choice bandit set. This is the exact set I ran. And then versus Mew, that was probably not invested into anything. So Ice Shard actually did 27 to 32.5. This is a role we are dealing with right now, and he is. Was I adamant? Because I don't remember it to be this shitty of a roll, because it wasn't. Yeah, I had a better roll than this. Weird. But, so he could be in range right now, and I just really need the roll. He was probably a 31-ish% at this point. So I just go for the Ice Shard, and I get the roll. He was at 31.1. So I've had a very shitty chance of knocking him out. 33.1. Which would have mean 113. Wait, no, 31. Which would have been 106. And then Ice Shard. So I basically needed one of the max 1, 2, 3, 5 rolls. So I had about a 31. Yeah, I had a 31% chance of getting that roll. So we get the roll. So we get the roll with Snorlax. We get the roll with Ice Shard. All of this, once again, was not necessary had I just sacked my Rotom Cut and just gone into Keldeo, and I would have just murdered the world with that. But I'm a fucking moron, I didn't. And now I just luck out. We've all CB, however. So I just need the Ice Shard, but that doesn't even enough to break the substitute. So yeah, at this point I just need to get him into a position where I know he's not going to click Ice Beam on my Lax. So he's going to Toxic right here. I'm just going to make sure that I break the sub, even though he's probably going to Roost here, but I just wanted to make sure that like on a sub turn I caught him. So he's definitely going to substitute here, because why the fuck would I risk my Snorlax, but I do risk my Snorlax right here. So I go into the Lax, I hop back into my Weavile immediately. I got some leftovers back, which is just phenomenal. I hop back into Weavile, and I just start spamming knockoff. At this point I just start to spam knockoff, and he's just going to sub-roost stall the shit out of me. Which is exactly what he should do, honestly. So he just continues to click substitute, and he can roost back up on my Snorlax again. He can just sub-roost up on everything. So here is where he just goes for another roost. He's back at full, Weavile dies, and now it's Snorlax versus Akira in black. I can tell you how this ends, though. This is going to be a PP match. This is going to be a PP stall fest. And that is going to end somewhere about here. So we hop from turn 44, 45, all the way to turn 92. Snorlax is asleep, Akira in black is banned, is burned. And this is how the cookie crumbles for awesomeness guy. Once again, all this PP stall was not necessary. I just hopped into Keldeo and just won the game from there. But apparently I thought it was necessary. And now Snorlax gets the body slam. So the kill actually does go towards Snorlax instead of Keldeo, I think. I don't know. I don't know how he got burned. But so that was that. That was that game. I actually got burned by Fire Punch, so the kill would have actually gone to Snorlax anyway. But actually make a pun here, like, sorry for the struggle. I don't feel bad. This is what I needed to do to win. I nearly fucked myself with this game, but fortunately we did not, and we pulled through, and now we're actually in finals. This 93 turn game, which was quite thrilling for the first 40 turns or so, allowed us to finally make finals again. This is the third time or something I make finals. All the other two I actually lost, so I don't have a championship as of right now. But this time around, I'm really looking forward to finally clinch the championship, and hopefully we can do that. And you and both me will find out in the next video.